Let's jump like this bitch. If you love, big old freak, big booty freak.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today, I'm going to be showing you how I curl my locks using lock knots. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the TGIN tea tree and olive oil blend, some shea butter, and this comb that I got from Nigeria. It's a banger, but you can use a rat tail comb, of course. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. The method I'm using for retwist is a palm roll, just a simple palm roll. So I'm over here tightening up my locks. I do have a lock retwist tutorial already, so I'm not necessarily showing that part as much. The star of the show today is really going to be the lock knots that I do to accomplish this curly lock style. So after I retwist, the next thing that I'm going to do is actually fold this lock in half. When I fold it in half, I'm going to loop the lock around itself and essentially start wrapping it downwards in a spiral pattern. So you'll see me zooming in here so that you can see that clearly. I retwist so that the root is nice and tight and neat. I start to fold that lock upwards. You'll see I fumble around a little bit because I got these long ass nails, but I wrap the lock around itself and then I just wrap it downwards all the way until the end. When I get to the end, you'll notice I have my fingers in between that space where I folded my lock upwards. That's so that I can keep that hole, so at the very end I can tuck the end of the lock in and it'll be secure. So you don't need any rubber bands, any bobby pins, none of that. You can literally just tie it essentially to itself by tucking in the end. After I tuck in the end, I hold the top of my lock so I'm not, obviously adding unnecessary tension. I hold the top of my lock and then pull that wrapped portion downwards to really secure it in place. Here's a different angle so that you can see better. You'll see me here retwisting my hair with the shea butter, really trying to make sure all those loose hairs are palm rolled nicely into the lock. After I have tightened up my roots, I'm folding that lock in half, trying to keep my fingers in between so that it creates a sort of loop as I continue to wrap the excess lock down the shaft of my hair. So I'm keeping my fingers in between so that at the very end, I have a loop for myself to tuck the lock into, and that's what secures this style in place. So you don't need any bobby pins, any rubber bands, or anything like that. So right here, I'm slipping my finger out and then slipping that end of the lock in. I have pretty long nails, so I can use my nails for this step, but if you have a rat tail comb like that that comb I was using earlier in the video, that would be really, really good for this. To further secure that lock, you really are going to want to slide the barrel downwards so that it covers the end of that lock, and that's what secures it in place. It's almost like that looping acts as the holder for the end of that lock. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. During this step, I take a whole bunch of mousse and I apply that all over my hair, to the roots and to the actual lock knots themselves. So that way when I set under the dryer, it's really, really setting that style in place. I usually wear these lock knots for about 5 to 7 days so that they can really, really set in even after going under the dryer. So I'm going to set under the dryer for 30 to 45 minutes, and the purpose of drying is really for your roots not to puff back up and not to unravel all of that retwisting that we did, because of course we want our hair to be neat even after this protective style. So once you're all done, you can literally go ahead and throw on that silk scarf, go to bed, or go about your day if you're doing this earlier in the day, but I usually do this at night.
know it's late, you've been waiting. My cognac kisses make you crazy.
When you're ready to unravel your lock knots, you want to make sure that your hands are covered in a nice film of oil, and that's just so that you can be gentle with your hair and not have it break off and all of those terrible things. When you want to unravel it, the first place that you're going to go to is the end of that lock knot where you've pulled the end through the loop. And you just unloop that, and then you're able to pull the end, and it should unravel right away into a nice spiral curl. You repeat that process all over your head. It is a little bit tedious. It doesn't seem like it can take a long time, but can, especially if you have smaller locks like I do.
I'm on that yak, I wanna dance. Come get your man, come get your man. I woke up paid and pretty, hair hanging down to my bum. I put it on him last night. He calling me back to back. Hey, new outfit, turn to the back for a pic, Cognac queen, I'm low. Hand out, show with a Ford. I'm pulling up with a short. I'm fresh off the plane, I'm in Ford. I'm fucking the.
When you first take out your lock knots, your hair is going to be super tight and super curly. So you'll see me pulling on my locks just so that I can start to stretch them out, and of course they fall over time. I'm personally putting in mousse in my hair one more time. That's just because I'm about to pineapple my hair and get ready. So I put the mousse in so it can further help hold those curls over time. I do that every single night. I put some oil in my hair and I put some mousse before I pineapple it, just so it can help maintain those curls over time. When you're finished, of course, you can rejoice, because I'm sure that took a very long time. Y'all know maintaining locks is not as easy as it looks. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something new. I hope that you like your hair. And of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye.